Welcome back, y'all. In this video, you're going to learn how to disassemble and reassemble the Mossberg 500. It doesn't matter if you have a 12 gauge, a 20 gauge, or even a 410. If it's a Mossberg 500, this video will work. First, open the action just a little bit by pulling the pump back. This is going to allow you to take the barrel off. Then unscrew the magazine cap, also sometimes referred to as the barrel nut, and that's going to allow your barrel to slide right off. Once the barrel is removed, you're ready to remove the trigger assembly retaining pin. That's this little pin right here. You can use a small screwdriver or even a small metal rod like I'm using right here. Apply some pressure to it and it's going to pop right out on the other side. And that right there is your trigger assembly retaining pin. With that removed, your trigger assembly should come out relatively easily. Flip the shotgun over and just give it some upward pressure and it'll pull right out. And there is your trigger assembly. The next two things that you're going to remove are your cartridge stop and your cartridge interrupter. When you pull your trigger assembly out, they'll probably just fall into the action, but I held them in so you could see here. This little bar right here is your cartridge stop, and this is your cartridge interrupter. Now you can pull out the cartridge interrupter. Just apply a little pressure, it'll pop right out. And that right there is your cartridge interrupter. Next, pull out the cartridge stop. Same thing, just apply a little pressure outward and it'll pop right out. That is your cartridge stop. Now you can remove your bolt slide. Just slide the action back until you can pull that slide straight up. It'll come out pretty easily. A little upward pressure, it'll pop right out. There's your bolt slide. Now once that's done, you can remove the foregrip and it should just slide right off. Now that that's out, you can slide your bolt out. Once the bolt is removed, you can remove the elevator. You're going to pull that straight up, squeeze it together, and you'll feel it come out of the holes and pop out. And that is how you fully disassemble your Mossberg 500. When you're ready to put it all back together, start with your elevator. You'll see the two holes here I was talking about earlier. The small one there, you're going to line those up on both sides. So just take your elevator, squeeze it together, and slide it down in there and mesh those holes up. Once you've got the elevator installed, you're ready to slide your bolt back in. I like to pull the elevator up to make it easier to get the bolt back in. But once the bolt is fully in, you're going to push the elevator all the way back down. Now don't push your bolt all the way back, because if you do, your bolt slide is not going to fit on top of it correctly. Where you see I have it right here, that's a pretty good spot for it. Once your bolt is back in where it belongs, you're going to slide the foregrip back on. You've got the magazine right there, it slides right onto it. You'll notice that when you try to put it on, it's not going to work. It's going to stop right there. What you have to do is lift these bars up, and you'll see the two little holes right there. You have to line those up, lift them up slightly, and they should line up and slide right in. Once you've got those bolt slide rails in right there, you're going to notice that they're going to stop again once you get them in. You're going to push and you're going to feel them stop. So once again, you have to push those down to get them underneath the little grooves there. Once you've pushed them down and you've got those slide rails in, you're going to push this back far enough to where your bolt slide will sit right on top of it in the grooves. You want it to be right about here. Now you're ready to put your bolt slide back in. If your bolt and those bars are lined up correctly, your bolt slide is going to drop in, no problem, and it's going to seat really nicely with your bolt. If they're off even a little bit, it's not going to seat. Once it's seated, you should be able to move it back and forth just like this. If at any time it pops off like this, you just have to mess with it a little bit, adjust it, move your bolt back and forth, and move that slide back and forth, and you'll figure out where it fits in nicely. Now this is the hardest part of the entire process coming up, and that is reinstalling your cartridge interrupter and your cartridge stop. You have to hold these in with your fingers, because if you don't hold them, they fall out. So you're going to take your cartridge interrupter. It's got a small circle on the side of it. You're going to line that up with this circle right here, and it's going to pop right in there. You'll see it'll seat very easily if you have it lined up. If you try to put it in backwards, it's not going to work, so you'll know immediately if it's not lined up correctly. But once it is, it's just going to pop right in. So hold that cartridge interrupter in there, and then grab your cartridge stop. Same thing, you're going to slide this on the little rail right there. It's going to pop right in. If it's not lined up correctly, it will not fit, and you'll know it. Now you'll have to hold these together, or apart rather, with your fingers, and pushing them out into the receiver so that you can get your trigger assembly in there. Now your trigger assembly sets in very, very easy, but if these are not lined up correctly, you'll find it hard to get in. So what you can do is just slide your finger up in there, push those up against the receiver, and your trigger assembly will fall right in. If your trigger assembly is incorrectly, your trigger assembly retaining pin should pop in just like this. If you receive a little bit of pressure there, you can't push it in with your finger, grab a screwdriver or something flat, give it a little bit more pressure there, and it'll pop right in. Now you can put your barrel on, open the action just a little bit, otherwise it's not going to seat correctly, you're not going to be able to get it on. Go ahead and screw that magazine cap back on, and that is how you fully reassemble your Mossberg 500. Now you're ready for a function check. Put the weapon on fire, squeeze the trigger should fall, pump it one time, release the trigger, squeeze the trigger should fall, and if it does that, you're good to go. As always, we appreciate y'all coming out. If you like the video, like and subscribe to our channels, and we'll see y'all next time.